Hello, and welcome back to the Drive With Trio podcast. I'm your host, Brad, and I wanted to give an update on what has been going on for the past few months. We've been gone. Alright, first things first, to start us off, one of our hosts left, and that's okay. People change, plans change. It's just the way things are meant to be, and I'm obviously not going to go into any specifics on why. Just know we all ended on good terms. I've been scouring the universe for a third, and I think I landed on somebody. One of my oldest buddies, actually, of over 14 years, so hopefully you guys like him. We already have some pre-recorded episodes ready to go, but I wanted to create a buffer so we don't fall behind like last time. That's all the updates I have for you so far for right now, but I thought I'd have a little bit more fun. I have a random question generator here, so you could learn a little bit more about me, and maybe it could get a little interesting. What is the weirdest dream I ever had? Okay, so about that. As of recently, there's so many to think of because I've started drinking Baja Blast before I go to bed, and I've realized I had the most weirdest, crazy dreams I've ever had in my entire life. Like a few nights ago, I dreamt I was in a warehouse and my coworkers stole a bunch of drinks, and the rest of us were upset they stole those drinks because we couldn't steal any drinks since the company only allowed so many drinks to be stolen. And I really wanted those drinks, like, super badly, so I somehow became a wizard. And then I went on if I could speak, I went on a magical rampage to get those drinks back. And then my coworkers who stole the drinks were, like, super scared of me. And then they just, like, randomly popped out of nowhere and gave me the drinks back. So I don't know what Mountain Dew puts in their drinks, and it's only Baja Blast. But whatever they're putting there, it's some weird-ass dreams. What is the first thing you think of when asked about the most fondest memory of your childhood? I think I'd have to go with when my aunt took me and my cousins to the circus for the first time. That really hits home for me. I didn't really have any siblings back then. I was like a lonely child growing up, so those were like my go-to siblings. But that was my first time seeing the circus, seeing the clowns, seeing all the animals. It was pretty cool stuff. And then for some reason, we were taking pictures with Spider-Man and the Hulk afterwards because they let us like take pictures with the clowns and stuff as well after the show. What is your favorite movie to watch over and over again? I would most certainly have to go with Ready Player One. And I've never even read the book yet, and I've heard it was like even better than the movie. But I've watched that movie like 500 times in a row. Like I can't get enough of that movie. To me it's like on par with some of the best up there. So you're the lead character in a video game. What is it? And you're allowed to make one up. So I was talking to my coworker about this last year. I wanted to make a virtual reality survival game based in the prehistoric era with dinosaurs. It would be under Unreal Engine. I got the idea from when I had the Oculus and I was watching this Jurassic Park thing, and these dinosaurs are like super life-size, like massive, and they were just like, they seemed like so real. I would want it to be a really big map with like territorial areas. So you could run into a Spinosaurus on one edge of the map and a Tyrannosaurus Rex on the other side of the map. Basically, wherever you stayed, there'd be different dinosaurs and other territorial creatures you'd have to worry about or run into. I'd want to make the AI for the dinosaurs actually pretty intelligent. There's this video game, I think it's called Alien Isolation, where the alien is like an aggressive and unpredictable creature, and it slowly learns as you play the game. I think a game like that would absolutely be super fun to play. If you could invent any gadget, what would it be? I told my best friend multiple times about this thing, and we joke about it a lot. A foldable television. Now hear me out. This is only for moving and rearranging your place purposes. So when you're moving out of your apartment or house, or you're rearranging your living room, and you don't feel like lugging around a giant flat screen TV, all you do is fold it up, put it in your pocket, and when you're done rearranging or moving your furniture, you take it back out. This will not damage your TV. It will not be like that cell phone that leaves creases on the screen. It'll be like how you left it before you folded it, okay? Anyways, yeah, that's my idea. What is your moon sign for the zodiac? My moon sign is Aquarius, so I have the emotional capacity of a doornail. What was the first concert you ever went to, and how was it? I have actually never been to a concert. I've gone to see comedians before, like Gabriel Iglesias, 6 years ago now. He was really funny. I enjoyed my time there. What is the most important quality in a friend? I'd have to go with loyalty. 100% loyalty. I've been cheated or lied to by too many friends before, so I'd have to go with loyalty. Do you have a favorite podcast? I do. It's called The Drywitch Trio. No, for real. I have a few. I listen to Regulation Podcast, who was by, back at the time, Rooster Teeth. The You Should Know podcast, they're pretty good, but I'd have to go with the Basement Yard. They were the first podcast I've ever listened to, and I still listen to Joe and Frankie to this day. So, the Basement Yard podcast. What is your favorite thing about your best friend? Oof. I'd honestly have to go with the fact that she's not afraid to speak her mind, even if it will hurt your feelings, or maybe even not hurt your feelings. It'll go against maybe your beliefs. She's gonna put it out there, and she doesn't give a fuck. You will absolutely have no more feelings when she's done with you. She's not gonna hold back one single bit. If you could live in any fictional world, what would it be? I'd honestly have to go with Star Wars or Harry Potter. Those are like my go-to. What is the most spontaneous thing you have ever done? This is around the start of my senior year of high school. It was my birthday, the day I turned 18. I didn't go to school. I sold my PlayStation 4 the night before so I'd have enough money to buy a train ticket from Massachusetts all the way to Nevada to go see and live with my best friend because I was not on good terms with my family at the time. I did not tell them I was leaving. It was super sudden. The only person I ever told was my other best friend Tyler at the time. It took me about 3.5 days to get there from the train, and I just finished my high school year with my best friend in Nevada. So yeah, that was the most spontaneous thing I ever did. What is one thing you would like to learn? I'd have to go with Spanish or sign language. I've tried a couple times to learn Spanish. I just could never memorize it. If you could live in any home from a TV show, what would it be? I feel most comfortable with the Family Matters house or the Drake and Josh house. Those two really hit home for me. What would you rather explore? Deep sea or outer space? Well, considering the fact we've only discovered 5% of our oceans, I feel like we would discover something we don't want to uncover. But you also have the argument of you don't even know what's out there in space, Brad. There could be something so much worse. And you're right. But I've always found outer space much more interesting, so I'd have to go that route. Do you believe in magic? Of course I believe in magic. You'd actually be a fool not to believe. You can take one trait or ability from any insect or animal of your choosing. What would it be? I think I'd have to go with camouflage so I can hide away from people I don't care about and all of my enemies. What is a job you wanted to have as a kid? I wanted to be a firefighter. Things change. What is your earliest memory? I'd have to go with I remember my mom putting me in a car seat and her accidentally snapping one of the buckles and pinching me. I started crying. And I remember my grandma trying to calm me down. Or I was walking up the stairs with my grandma, and she opened the door and she accidentally knocked me off the porch, and I went falling 5 feet. And luckily it was winter time, so I landed in a bush that was full of snow. Yay me. I remember her being super worried, asking me if I was okay. What is the most important lesson you learned from a mistake? So, going back to that story I told you about, leaving the day I turned 18, as soon as I got to Nevada, I realized I instantly regretted not telling my family I was leaving or saying my goodbyes, because we weren't on good terms at the time, so it was pretty easy for me to up and just leave. I didn't realize until later on that I actually ended up hurting them for doing what I did. Well, I regretted leaving for how I did. I've recently gone back a few years ago, and this time I actually said my goodbyes and stuff, and how much I loved them, because there's always been love there. Just never be afraid to tell a friend or a family member that you love them, because you never know it's going to be the last time you're ever going to see them. I also realized it wasn't just my family that I hurt, it was also some of my closest friends too. Because I didn't tell them until I got to Nevada either, and they were so surprised that I even did that. And I lost some good friends on the way because of that. Not saying that moving to Nevada was a mistake, just wish I did it differently the first time. Sorry to get so serious for a second there. What is the weirdest thing you have in your closet? Oof. You know what? Fuck it. A sex toy. And no, it's not a dildo or anything like that. So have fun guessing, you bunch of weirdos. So that's all for this update video. I hope you had fun listening to me ramble on for 10 minutes. But thank you so much for listening. Spread the word about this podcast, and I'll see you all in the next one.